Why didn't you just tell her it was just too strained?
She wasn't speaking to me.
Okay.
At all.
Now, what does that mean? Does that mean you're talking to her and she won't answer, or what does it mean?
She would just come in with her face and, and very intimidating, go over in her room. So, my mom came one day. I wasn't even caring about that. I was letting her rock, like stay there. As long as you pay rent, it's cool. We don't have to be friends,
This is the plaintiff, Shauna Baptiste. She says she used to rent a room from the defendant in her apartment, and the woman secretly installed a video camera to spy on her. Her rights have been violated. The woman saw her without her clothes on. She definitely deserves a rent rebate and is suing this louse for the $7,715 she's definitely owed. This is the defendant, Cassandra Cabrera. She says the plaintiff maliciously ripped the security camera she had in a common area of the apartment down and put it in a bucket of water. The woman's a menace. She certainly doesn't owe her any money because the cops told her to install the security camera. And if anyone's owed money today, it's not the plaintiff. That's for darn sure. She's accused of being nosy. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $4,825 for past due rent and property damage.
All parties, please get ready.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
All right. So, Ms. Baptiste, you were renting a room from this defendant, correct?
Yes.
And how much were you paying?
$700 a month.
All right. You moved in when?
July 8th of 2019.
Okay. Now, at first things were going well, right?
Yes.
You used to babysit her children. According to you, did you get paid for babysitting or?
No, it was just like a few hours or an hour, 45 minutes, 20 minutes. She'll run out to the store or whatever.
All right. So, but everybody was getting along.
Yes.
What went wrong?
Basically, it was after probably the week before Thanksgiving or let's say the week after. She was just coming in from work and I was sitting at the table eating my dinner. And she's like, oh yeah, Shauna, please clean up the drain when you're done. So I'm just like lost, like, what are you talking about? She's like, clean up the drain when you're done. That's all. So I'm just like, okay. I was like, you have kids here too, and they eat stuff, and they put all types of stuff in there, So I just stayed quiet. I went in my room because I felt embarrassed because she had her babysitter there.
That's it? That's what went wrong? Okay. So what ends up happening? Tell me your story. Because you're suing for pain and suffering. You're suing for every penny you ever paid in rent to be returned to you. Why?
After all of this had happened, I just stopped, speaking to her. Then I get a call from the room agency stating that, oh, Cassandra doesn't need you in the room anymore.
Okay, let's talk about that a second. Who is your contract with, them or her?
It's actually no contract. Basically, they are legally a room agency. You go to them to find a room, and they find people who are renting rooms.
Right. So you guys have just a month-to-month contract, or is there a lease?
It's a month-to-month.
It's a month-to-month. Okay. So she notifies them rather than talking to you and says, I don't want her here anymore. And then that happens when?
That happens like the last week in November.
Is that accurate, the timing?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what happens?
Then I just stayed.
And why didn't you just tell her it was just too strained?
She wasn't speaking to me.
Okay.
At all.
Now, what does that mean? Does that mean you're talking to her and she won't answer, or what does it mean?
She would just come in with her face and, and very intimidating, go over in her room. So, my mom came one day. I wasn't even caring about that. I was letting her rock, like stay there. As long as you pay rent, it's cool. We don't have to be friends, But my mom came over to watch the kids one morning, and she was like, hi, Shauna, and Shauna just kept walking. So as my mom, she's like, you can't live in a place where the person doesn't talk to you because you can't trust them and you have small children here. So she said, you should call the room agency so they can help you and tell them you don't need the room anymore so that she can move out, which was the original thing, like if you need the person out, you will call the agency and they will take them out. So I did the procedure. So then after that, Let Shauna finish.
Things got hairy.
You call the room agency after the
Okay,
first
you can
30
still
days.
talk to someone and say this isn't working out, but she feels like you're not talking to her, so she doesn't want to. So go ahead. What happens?
Basically, I didn't say anything to her for the simple fact that I felt that she owed me an apology and should have sat down and spoke to me when she made that comment, when she came into the door from work. She didn't even say,
I
hey,
know.
Shauna.
I understand. Everybody
Okay.
thinks they're right.
Right.
Right. And in life, because you're young, how old are you?
I'm 39.
How old are you?
32.
Okay, listen to me, because I'm a little bit older. So I've lived longer. I don't like the way you people laughed, by the way. I've lived longer. And sometimes it is less important to be right than it is to be at peace. Just remember that. It is less important to be right than it is to be at peace. This is your living situation. You got kids there. You're living there. It's at some point, I may feel somebody owes me an apology, but if I don't make peace, I'm not happy. So I would rather that the thing that should be rolling off your tongue all the time is let's talk. Let's see if we can. That should be rolling off your tongue with your children, with your mate, with your roommates, with your mother, with whoever it is. It should not be a big deal. There should not be a silent freeze because people communicating understand each other. And then you would have said, listen, you kind of embarrassed me because you implied that I was a pig. Oh, I didn't mean to imply you were a pig. I was just annoyed because there was rice. Whatever it is. But when people don't communicate, this is what happens. And this got really, really bad because we're now going to talk about thousands of dollars and an arrest. Okay, so now you talk to me. What ends up happening?
Basically, when I was staying there, I was just, 2 weeks or what have you, I wasn't speaking because I just...
Did you pay rent in November?
Yes, I did.
Did you cancel the check?
No, it wasn't a check. I sent it to her through Zelle.
Through Zelle?
Zelle, yes.
Zelle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you receive rent in November?
She canceled both checks since the beginning of November.
Are you saying, wait, checks or Zelle?
Zelle, the
so
payment.
She can't. Do you have evidence that she canceled?
I do. So even before the rent she paid before the argument, she canceled. So that's where we are with this lady.
Okay, so hold on and show me. She's saying you canceled the Zelle payment.
It went through. There's no way to cancel once it goes through. Once you have sufficient funds in your account.
Well, did you have insufficient funds?
I have sufficient funds in my account.
That's so weird. Show me your Zelle account. Was she paying the rent half and half, $350 every 2 weeks?
Yeah, she had asked me if she could pay it every 2 weeks, and I said, okay, cool. I know everybody doesn't get paid every week.
Now, you end up, let's fast forward. According to her, you canceled November. According to you, you paid November.
Yeah.
And then what happens in December? Do you pay December?
No, because I knew she already wanted me out. On December 13th after 1 a.m., her and her boyfriend came into the room. When I was there, the door was closed, and she said, "You stupid black, why you called the management office on me? You watch and see."
So we're skipping all kinds of stuff. What happened on December 13th?
No, actually, on December 13th, Shauna here, she called my landlord. I am a single mom with 3 small kids, okay? The reason why she's staying in my apartment is because I need to make rent to keep a roof over my kid's head, which I was struggling with. My attorney calls me that my management company's attorney told him that somebody called and said, I sublet my apartment to them.
Are you allowed to or not?
No, I did not sublet my apartment. She said I sublet
subletting.
my apartment to her. I didn't. I lived there with my children.
Well, technically speaking, no, you're right. You are right legally. You can get a roommate.
I can get a roommate.
So stop a second. Now, here's my question to you. On December 31st, what occurs?
I had seen a camera on her daughter's dollhouse.
Where is the dollhouse located?
Okay, so the dollhouse is all the way at the end.
Of what?
In the hallway.
Okay.
Of the apartment. So I wait till everyone leave and I stay in my room because I don't want, I already know it's a tension between me and her. So I stay in my room and I come out after they leave. So I see a camera there and I'm like, what in the world, what is this? And it's plugged in and it's on. So I thought it was just there, just to be there. So I took the camera and I'm looking at it and I unplugged it and it was a mop bucket right next to the dollhouse in front of her room and I just dropped it in there.
In the water?
Yes.
Okay.
Just the reason on my defense is because she's taking me to the point where I didn't want to know, conflict, physical conflict, because.
And how did you think that taking her camera, ripping it off the dollhouse and sticking it in water was going to?
No, I didn't rip it off of the dollhouse.
Taking it off the dollhouse and putting it in a bucket of water was going to create peace.
Because I was so frustrated. I already.
Yeah, that just sounds like typical one-upmanship of anger. That doesn't sound like trying to keep peace. It sounds like You're angry.
I've tried.
Now, according to your complaint, you were naked when that happened?
Well, I walk around the house nude, right?
Why?
When nobody's there. When nobody's there, because
no one wants that. Whether there's a camera or not a camera, no one wants that because it's a little. I don't need to go into specifics, do I?
I was walking around like from the bathroom to my room, and sometimes I'll forget my towel in my bedroom, so I'll go. But walking around the whole house, no. But it's times where I have.
Okay, did you ever see her nude on any of that?
One time when she had just moved in, you know, this is.
Oh, has that camera been there since she moved in?
No, I did this after she called my landlord because I felt, you know, now she has malicious intent.
Okay.
Because if I get evicted, you know, what am I going to do with my 3 small kids?
I got it. So you put the camera on.
So I put the camera because I don't have locks on my doors. You can open it with a quarter.
Okay.
So my belongings are there and my children are sleeping.
Okay, so you put the camera.
I put the camera because I don't trust her.
Right.
So I put the camera. I was.
Did you ever tell her, by the way, there's going to be a camera?
No, but the camera was in plain sight.
Yeah, I know.
It wasn't hidden.
I know, but you probably should have because she's renting the room, but she has access to the other places. And if you're going to have a camera there, you should probably say it. But go ahead. So what happened?
So the day that she did that, I told her, you know, when she grabbed the camera, she wasn't naked.
Do you actually have the video of her grabbing the camera?
The video got deleted, but
Darn it. All right, go on.
Picture.
Hold on.
So this is it. She's wearing her pajamas. She wasn't naked.
Yep, she's got something on. This is the one, right?
Yeah, so she grabs it, and that's when the picture goes blank. And then, of course, you know, I have to be careful because I have all my personal things
Why did you grab it and throw it in the water bucket? Because you didn't want to be taped?
Yeah.
Then why didn't you just put a tape on it? Like a piece of masking tape?
Well,
or
I didn't know.
You didn't know what? You know what you're doing when you throw it in water? If you had taken it apart and then just put it next to it, that'd be one thing. You maliciously put it in water. So what did you, by the way, did you ever see her naked on any of those tapes?
No, I didn't. However, I did walk into the apartment one day. Sometimes I stay at my mom's because she lives nearby. And if it's too late, I stay with the kids, you know? And I guess she hadn't heard us in the apartment. I walked in and she's like, oh, I'm naked. And I thought that was a little odd because not even I am naked in my own apartment.
Okay, all right, enough naked
you know,
talk. So now what happens is, do you actually see that this happens when you decide, let me check up on my tape? Or
no,
how do you know?
Because the camera has a motion sensor, so it had sent me a text, you know?
Okay, so it sends you a text, and
then
what
I see her grab it, and it goes blank. So I send her a message, and I'm like, you know, there are more cameras, but there weren't any. I just wanted her to deter her from going into my personal stuff. I have my social, my passport.
So you send her a message saying there are more cameras, and she says...
there are more cameras, and she tells me, oh, I'm not worried about you. Stop bothering me. I have rights.
So you called the police.
So the next day, when I came home, I walk in. It was 23 degrees outside. I have 3 kids. She left the window open. This is the second time she leaves the window open in the room.
How did you know? Because the door's open?
The first time around, the babysitter told me, you know, the apartment's very cold. She left the window open, but I don't know how to get in the room. That was before when I could change it with the coin. But she took it upon herself to change the lock without my permission. So I couldn't get in. When I came in the apartment and it was cold on the 1st. I called NYPD.
1st of January.
I called NYPD. I didn't even call about the camera. They asked me about the camera. And I told them, you know, I need to get in the room. It's not my property. I can't get in. But the window is open. And they were there. And they told me, open the door. She had forgot to lock the door, actually. So I opened the door. I went in and they said, go ahead, close the window. They watched me do that because she claims that I did it, you know, without permission, whatever. When we came back out, I told them what's going on with this woman, that she's basically terrorizing me in my own home with my kids. And I'm telling them, look, she got the camera, and the camera was still in the bucket. So he's like, oh, okay, where's the camera? I said, you know, she damaged it in the bucket. So then that's when
Did the bucket have water?
Yes, because I was mopping before I left, you know, cleaning for New Year's. So I took it out, and then that's where they're like, oh, okay, now this is a misdemeanor, so we can arrest her on those grounds.
So what happens? Is she there at the time? No.
She wasn't there. She didn't come back because this woman is a coward. She won't face me unless there's some...
So how did they end up arresting her? They arrested her later that day?
There was a detective looking for her for like 2 weeks, and then like a week. Oh, on the 12th.
What day did she get arrested?
I believe she got arrested on the 13th.
Okay, was she in your house between January 1st and the 13th?
She wasn't, because she's a coward, like I said.
Okay, so how did she get arrested on the 13th? Where? Where'd you get arrested?
It was the 14th, and I was at my doctor's appointment.
How'd they find you?
They called my phone and left a message and said for me to please call the detective so he can speak to me.
He didn't call you before the 1st?
No.
Okay, so then you speak to the detective and they say what? We have a warrant for you, or come on in and talk to me?
They said come on in and talk to us.
So you come on in and then they arrest you?
Yes.
All right, so this is the middle of January.
So I speak to the detective and I tell him what's going on. You know, this woman is suing me through small claims court. She's suing. This is the second lawsuit I have from this lady.
Okay, the first lawsuit was in
because
small...
she wanted to reoccupy my apartment. Obviously, you can't reoccupy my apartment. You and I don't get along. And her lawsuit was for me to get evicted. I am the main leaseholder.
Wait. She filed
another lawsuit because she
Tell me the two lawsuits she's filed.
She's filed this one for me to pay her back the rent she lived.
Okay,
And then she filed another one because she said I illegally changed my locks, which I didn't. That was last week. It was settled. Then she also said I prevent her from getting her belongings, which is a lie because I have a text message from her asking me to give her more time to find a place to stay to go pick up her stuff. I never told her she couldn't pick up her stuff. However...
Tell me what happened in that case when you say that settled. How did it settle?
The magistrate told her that she obviously needs to find a place to stay because she cannot live with me and my children because we don't get along.
What was that lawsuit that you filed?
Oh, an illegal lockout.
Okay.
Because when I went to the house, she told the babysitter in Spanish, "El muchacha loca." She's saying to her in Spanish that I'm local. So she's afraid. Now the babysitter is afraid to even let me in. So she had the chain on the door. So I had to call the cops to get in because I
So you
opened the door.
filed for an illegal lockout. What was your objective? To be able to live there and get back in, or to get your stuff?
No, just to get my stuff.
So it gets settled for you to have a certain date and time to get your stuff. Has the stuff been
correct.
removed?
Yes.
Oh, hallelujah. So
I
we're
see.
done, right?
Thank God.
We're done. So now the only question, let's talk about it. You have a lawsuit here for $3,500 because you want the $700 a month that you paid while you lived there paid back to you. Under what legal theory would that happen? You lived there.
She broke the agreement that we had because what I signed, what I filled out, I believe I filled out for a year for me to stay
Give
there.
me the proof of that. Then you don't have a contract for a year because you can't prove it, right?
Right.
Right. So now...
This is what she said, my landlord.
You also are suing for $2,215 in hotel bills. Okay. Why are you staying at a hotel?
Because I couldn't bear to be there with all the stress that was going on. And again, I stated that I'm on medical leave.
Okay, now I understand that. I understand what you're saying. I'm trying to understand why you were saying that she has to pay that.
She knew that I was on medical leave and I have diabetes since I was 7 years old. So my sugars have to be a certain range before I get hernia surgery, which hasn't happened yet with me finding a place to stay that's peaceful.
These are hotels that you paid for while you were living there?
No.
Hotels that you paid for when?
When she told me that I had to leave, she didn't want to speak to me. She didn't want me in the house
She told you had to leave, but you didn't leave. So the first time that you left was when the police arrested you, which wasn't until...
She left on January 1st.
Okay, so
January
show me your
31st.
hotel
That was
bills. Show me your
31st.
hotel bills you're talking about.
Okay.
Okay, this is in December. Why would she pay your hotel bill in December? Because you didn't feel like staying there because it was awkward?
No.
That doesn't mean that the person has to pay your hotel bills.
No, Your Honor. I was going through a lot with her before that. She kept on talking to people about me and speaking loud in the house.
Now I'm not asking you, now I'm telling you.
Okay.
That does not rise to the level of a legal obligation for her to eat rent, not get paid rent, and pay hotel bills, which is what you're asking for. That does not rise to that level. The fact that you guys are awkward with each other, you don't like each other, and each of you are, talking about people, whatever you're saying to me, none of it rises to the level. If you feel like you need to stay in a hotel for your peace, good for you. But that is different from someone else having a legal obligation to pay for your hotel. And pain and suffering, why? Because you guys don't get along? You have a counterclaim against her. According to you, you are suing for the rent because according to you, you didn't pay it. We're going to put a little pin in that because that's what we're going to figure out through Zelle. I'm going to need you to check your Chase account to see if it went through.
I mean, I didn't even know she had canceled those checks until I got home. I was on my way home and I get a call from ACS that Shauna had called telling them that I was a negligent mother to my children. So this is where
this gets started. You called ACS after you got arrested? Stop. You called the Child Protective Services for the state after you got arrested for destroying the camera?
I told ACS that it was times when I would watch her children, and it was a time where I visually seen her go into her room and lock the baby in her room with a stroller. She'll put it over the door so the baby couldn't get out. She has a 2-year-old. So I'm just sitting there, just minding my business, basically. This happened a few times from the time that I moved in. I noticed this happening around, let's say,
What else did you
August,
say to them?
September. So I also told them that she smokes, and the house was smelling
Smokes what?
Smokes weed and hookah because she had her boyfriend there, and the whole house on 2 occasions was smoking.
So let me ask
smelling
you.
like weed.
Apparently that bothered you a lot, and you were worried about the children, right?
Yes.
But you only called
No, I didn't.
Child Protective
No,
Service. I haven't said my question
sorry.
yet. You only called them after you got arrested for criminal mischief. You never called in July, August, September, October, November, December, did you?
No.
So you did it in retaliation, didn't you?
No, I didn't. Your
No,
Honor.
because it kind of looks that way,
I'm sorry.
right? So what happened with ACS?
Well, there's an open investigation against me for my children because she said I'm negligent, which is, she knows it's a lie because I take very good care of my kids. However, yes, I do. I smoke hookah and I drink wine after work.
Stop looking at her.
And my son is 2 years old, so when I put him in the room, he knows how to open the door. When I put him down for bedtime, he'll come out like 20 times. So what I do is I put the stroller on the door so he can't get out and he goes back to sleep. I don't lock him in there, okay?
Yeah, but how do you get in then?
I take off the stroller and I get in.
No, oh, because
It's on the outside.
Oh, the stroller's on the other
He's 2
side.
years old, so he
I got
knows
it.
how to open the door. She knows that. She's just being ridiculous. So anyway, the point is that I don't want this woman around me or my children. I
yeah,
just
no,
want this
no,
done
no,
with.
no, no. That there's no question of. You have a lawsuit against her for the November all the way to January because she didn't take any of her things out.
belongings were there
But what
till
happened
Monday.
in January after you get arrested? They take you into jail. You bond out. What do you do about getting your stuff out of the apartment?
I'm still in the process of looking for a room at this time.
Okay, so it's not convenient for you to get the stuff out,
Right.
so you don't. So you're suing for January rent over that. You're not supposed to get rid of the stuff. So the stuff is now picked up pursuant to that other case, right? All right. So now the pain and suffering. I presume that what you are referring to specifically is the pain and suffering of having Child Protective Services come and investigate you.
You know, I can't sleep thinking that they're going to show up at my door and take my kids or something. Even though I know my children are okay, my kids have never gone through that. These people are asking my kids questions in the middle of the night. They don't know what that
I'm
is.
sorry. Are they asking your kids questions in the middle of the night?
They went to my house at 12:30 a.m. and my kids were in bed ready for
The
school
first
for the next
time?
day. The first time.
Now, how many times have you met with social services?
They have, well, obviously they're not that concerned, they told me, because they could tell if my kids were
They're
neglected.
not that concerned. They know that there's lawsuits involved.
So
They
they're
know
gonna
it's retaliatory, so you're not that worried either. You haven't, it's outrageous, but you're not truly suffering that they're going to take away your kids because you know that they know that this is about this, right?
Yeah.
Now, your Zelle account is reflecting to you that the payment keeps getting canceled, but your Zelle account is reflecting to you that it got paid. One of those is wrong. And we've looked at both accounts, and both of you are telling the truth about what you say your Zelle accounts show. So we're going to have to get to the bottom of that, and that's going to have to happen between my court staff, you guys, and Zelle somehow after this trial. So we're going to leave, I'm going to put a pin in that. And I believe that you are entitled to November rent. So if you have not received it, then you should be receiving it. But we'll see whether you actually received it. Do you have more than one account?
No.
So the payment that, according to you, keeps getting rejected is the $350 payment, correct?
Yeah.
Over and over and over, a $350 payment. So we're going to figure out how much you're owed for November. The most you can possibly be owed is the $350. Okay. You're owed $700 for December. You're owed $525 for January. So that's $1,225 in rent plus the potential $350 of November. That is my ruling on your rent. Regarding the camera, you are entitled to an additional $38.10 because that's the cost of the camera. And then the pain and suffering and defamation of character. I find it outrageous that somebody calls Child Protective Services on you for sport, because I find that that phone call was absolutely in retaliation, but in determining how much you're entitled to, I also have to take into account that from Jump Street, it was pretty clear that nothing bad was going to happen. They have not ordered you to do anything, take any class.
I have to be, I have to get drug tested, which I don't mind because, you know, I'm fine. And they're going to
It's
monitor
annoying.
my kids.
Where do you get drug tested? You have to go somewhere?
I have to go somewhere, yeah.
Where? Have you gone or no?
No, she said she's going to send me the details so that I can go. And then.
How many times?
She didn't say how many times. She said that
All
I
right,
have to
I'm
be drug
ordering
tested.
another $800 for your troubles on having the department called on you. That is a verdict of $2,063.10 plus we're going to figure out what's happening with the $350. That's my judgment. Good luck, folks. And on your lawsuit against her, $0. Oh, excuse me. I need to deduct from that. We're going to deduct from that the security deposit that you already have on your side of the $350. Okay.
Well, it didn't work out too well for the plaintiff in court today, Ms. Baptiste. I'm sorry, but you were suing for over $7,700, and she's got a judgment against you for over $2,000. And you don't get anything on your suit.
Yeah,
What are you thinking?
It's fine. It is what it has to be.
You know you don't feel it's fine.
No, it's fine because there's nothing I can do, sir.
Okay. Well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. You glad this is coming to an end for you?
I am, because I'm tired of having this woman in my life. I just want her gone.
It's tough to find somebody to live in your own apartment with you. You know?
Yeah, it's
What do you
never
do?
gonna
How do
happen
you-
again. I'm never getting anybody to live with me again.
That's over?
A lesson learned. No.
Okay. Good luck to you. Thank you very much. All right. Harvey?
Okay, Doug, a quick update. The defendant actually did present proof that she sent the plaintiff a $350 security check through Zelle, and that is it. So that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Kamika Young. He says he rented a U-Haul truck for the defendant because he felt bad for her kids due to an impending eviction. The defendant promised to return the truck in 24 hours, but ended up keeping the thing 3 additional days and owes him $3,401.55. Boy, you go and do something nice for someone, and this is what you get? A lawsuit. This is the defendant, Yushamika Williams. She says the truck was unfortunately towed, and it was taking her time to clear things up. Meanwhile, the immature plaintiff posted a picture on his Facebook, claiming she was a thief and a con artist for all to see. Many believed his story. She's been damaged by his false accusations, and if anyone's owed money today, it's certainly not the plaintiff. She's accused of hauling things into a lawsuit. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $5,000 for defamation.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff rented a U-Haul for the defendant, a U-Haul that was supposed to be returned within 24 hours. The defendant didn't do it,
The
and
Honorable
he
Judge
got
Marilyn
stuck
Williams,
with a
presiding.
big bill. The defendant says the U-Haul got towed. So what was she supposed to do? It's the case of U-Haul him into court.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Young, how is it that you and Ms. Williams know each other?
Actually, we just friends of friends,
Okay.
just associates. I just know a few people that she know. basically.
Okay. And then one fine day, she asked you to rent a U-Haul for her?
Technically, she texted me and asked me that.
So why wouldn't you say, yeah, sorry, can't help you out if she's just friends of friends?
I told her that, but she just kept resisting, kept asking. And basically, she's saying that her kids are going to be homeless and they're going to be on the street. So I'm like, I'll do it for the kids.
Okay, but moving her belongings is not doing something for the kids. I don't get how one thing connects to the other.
Technically, I didn't even move the belongings.
No, I mean, you need a U-Haul in order to move belongings. That has nothing to do with the children. The children are going to end up being homeless. In other words, the money's not for a new apartment to house the children. The money's for the U-Haul, and the U-Haul is for things, not children. In any event, you decide that you're going to rent the U-Haul for her.
Yes.
Why?
Trying to be nice.
Okay,
Trying to look
so
out for
do you
somebody.
physically have to go do it, or you do it all online?
No, I had to physically go do it.
With her?
We went there together, yeah.
Okay, and so according to, in your head, how much were you going to lay it out?
I ain't have no credit card. I was just using my ID. She had cash.
So you were allowing it to be rented under your name.
Right.
Because she doesn't even have a driver's license.
I asked her that. She said that she had one, but talking about she's waiting for it to come through the mail.
So you weren't even going to loan her the money for the U-Haul.
No.
So what she was asking you to do, why would someone who has a license need you to show your license? Clearly she has no, why would you risk your license? Why would you do this?
Trying to be nice.
Really? Or was she paying you to do it?
Trying to be nice.
Were you paying him to do it?
I did pay him.
How much did you pay him?
I paid him $30.
Did she pay you $30 for your troubles?
No, I ain't getting no $30 for my trouble. She said that she's going to give me $30, but no.
Okay, so she pays cash at the moment. It's taken out, this U-Haul. How big is a U-Haul?
It was a small one.
It was a small
Which one,
one.
the 10-footer?
The 10-footer.
I guess
The
it's-
10-footer,
yeah, it's a
okay.
small one.
Yeah, I have experience with U-Hauls.
Yeah.
So it's under your name. No one puts a credit card down. So you bought
That's not
insurance?
true. I put my credit card
You
down.
put your credit card down. Okay. So now 2 days pass. She was supposed to have it for how long?
Just one day, she's supposed to have it overnight.
Okay. And then you send her a text and say, did you return the U-Haul?
Yeah, because they kept emailing me.
And what were
U-Haul
they
people.
emailing you?
They're saying that the truck never been back, and I own.
And when do they start
outstanding-
emailing you?
Like 2 days, a day after that.
Okay. So you say to her, hey, what's going on with the truck? And what does she say?
She said that she's in a meeting, and that when she get out her meeting or her appointment, that she's gonna get back to me, which she ain't never got back to me.
Okay, but at some point, doesn't she tell you, I returned it?
She says she returned it. Yeah, she says that.
Yeah,
but
and she says she returned it on what day? What day does she say, I returned it? That's the next day?
Yeah, supposed to be the next day. Yes.
Okay. Do you have the text in your phone?
Yes.
May I see it? Can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you text him you returned it when you hadn't?
Yes.
So you lied to him and told him you returned the truck.
Yes.
Why did you do that?
Don't know, ma'am.
You do know, because all your stuff was in the truck and you were using it as a storage room. You
No,
didn't take
I
that
wasn't
furniture
using it as
anywhere. Where were you supposedly going to take that furniture to?
No, I was taking it out of the U-Haul, putting it in my house.
Why? So why did the police tow your U-Haul?
That's what I'm trying to
No,
understand.
no.
I'm sure, can I explain?
Yeah.
The U-Haul was on one side of the street that morning.
What morning?
On the 20, it was on the 20.
The same day you rented
Yes.
it, or the next day, or the next day after that, or
next
the
day
next
after
day
that.
after that?
The
How
next
many
day
days
after
after you rented it did it get towed?
On the 20th.
How many days after you rented it? When did
So
you rent it?
3 days after that.
How many?
3 days after that. But I
3
paid
days
for
after. You were
everything.
supposed to return it the
But I
same day,
paid
so you
for
were
it.
using it as storage.
But
What
I
were you
paid
just
for it.
really slow at moving your stuff out of the U-Haul?
Yeah. But I paid for all that. So
I don't even know what you mean by I paid for all
I
that.
paid for the U-Haul for using it them days.
Okay, how did you pay it? Where did you pay it?
Through my card.
How is U-Haul charging you? Where
Everything is
is
coming off
U-Haul
my
charging
card.
you if her card was put down there?
Cause the U-Haul ain't never been returned. They ticketed the truck. There wasn't no
They
key,
ticketed it.
no
and-
gas, no
Right,
nothing.
and
coming
there were
off my
all
card.
these charges that came up. Did you pay all of those charges to U-Haul?
No, they're taking it off of my card. I worked something out with them.
Okay, may I see what you worked out with them? I need proof that you have worked all that out.
I don't have proof. I just have that they're trying to take it off my card.
Show me any proof you have. I mean, this is what
The
you're being
cash
sued
app?
for.
We're not
Hold on a second. Go ahead.
Here's my Cash App. You
What
wanna
was the
start-
arrangement you worked out with them?
That I'll pay it when my taxes come.
So you're going to show
Sorry.
me a cash app where you did what?
They're still trying to take it from me.
Wait, are they trying to and you're stopping them from doing it? Or
I don't have it, but they have to still keep on transacting the card until the money comes on.
I don't know what you're saying.
They're still.
Is this a debit card or a
Yes,
credit
a
card?
debit card.
Oh,
So they still have to.
so they just keep stabbing at getting the money that you owe them, and you keep not putting enough money in your debit card so that they can't get it?
No, because I don't have it right now.
Okay, so you've paid them zero. Why do you say that you've paid them?
I paid them for the days I had the truck.
Proof to me that you've paid them anything after this car got towed. You paid 1 day. You paid 1 day, and it
I
was
paid
3 days
2.
later.
I paid for 2.
Okay, well then on the third day, you still haven't returned
No,
it.
because the third
Will
day
you
they towed
please
the
explain
truck.
to me, if you work something out with them and they're going after you for it, why does he feel they're going after him?
They're not going after him. They're
Can I
coming-
ask you a question? Do you think that U-Haul, if the rental is in his name, is not going to go after him? What is wrong with you? Why would you think that?
It's one ticket they got, and the toll was illegally
Pay the
towed.
ticket?
He paid the toll. The ticket.
He did?
Yes. It was only
paid the
$50.
You paid the ticket?
Yes.
How much was the ticket?
$50.
Okay, can I see proof that you paid it?
Sure.
That's it.
What was the day that you guys went to U-Haul and she rented the U-Haul?
The 16th.
16th. This got ticketed on the 21st. That's 5 days later.
And then when I tried to talk to her, I guess she blocked me on Facebook. And then some guy who she was, I don't know who, her friend or whatever, he was like, excuse my language, but he said, you lucky I ain't burned the So throw it off a damn cliff.
He never said that.
Burn the what? The U-Haul?
Yes, or throw it off a cliff. That's
This'll teach you.
That's what the guy told
This'll
me.
teach you for $30.
That's what the guy told me.
This'll teach you, right? So here we go. 5 days later, you get a ticket. So the tow has to happen more than 5 days later. You're just
the
using it
ticket
as your
no,
personal storage.
The tow happened the same day.
Show me what U-Haul is going after you for.
The tow happened the same day.
Stop talking.
This everything right there. All the fees and all the fines that they hit me with.
Lost key charge, fuel, sales items. What does that mean? There's $251. What are those items? Did you, go ahead. Who's
No,
the
I
gentleman?
don't.
Who's
This is my son.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
What did he just hand you? Let me see.
The U-Haul contract.
Yeah, let me see. How many kids do you have?
3,
How old is this one?
14,
How old are the others?
11, and 5.
You got to get your act together, honey.
My act is together.
I wasn't even trying to
Your
come
act is
here.
together?
Yeah.
Why were you leaving the place you were leaving?
Because I got my Section 8. It was time for me to move because my house wouldn't approve.
The one you were living in wasn't approved. So did Section 8 help you to get a different house?
No, I have to find it myself.
Did you try looking for it before you left the first one?
Yes, that's what you have. They give you 2 or 3 months to find your own.
And in 2 or 3 months you couldn't find one
No, I
that they would be paying for?
No, you have to have a extension because you have to have all these requirements and
Do you have any evidence of coming to any agreement with U-Haul?
no.
Do you have any evidence that you have paid anything to U-Haul?
No, I haven't paid nothing yet.
You haven't, right?
No.
All right, according to this U-Haul documentation, what is still owed on this fiasco is $829.05, okay? I am ordering you to pay U-Haul directly the $829.05. That is my verdict. I am entering a judgment against you for that amount, and I gotta tell you something. I feel so bad that your 14-year-old has to watch how you don't have your life in order. So don't tell me you have your life in order, because when you borrow the guy's license to rent the thing for 2 days, and it's 6 days later when you're still getting tickets and your stuff is still in there, you don't have your life in order. Oh, and by the way, you also owe him, in addition to that, the other $50 for the tickets you got. So that's $879.05 plus, of course, your court costs. Verdict for the plaintiff. And in case this comes as any surprise, on your counterclaim, because you're upset that he actually told people the truth about what happened on
That's not the
Facebook,
truth.
you don't get defamation
It's not the
charges for
truth.
that.
It
I
wasn't
find
true.
against you on your counterclaim.
It wasn't the truth.
So the plaintiff prevails. Ms. Williams, the defendant, is on her way out of the courtroom. You heard the judge. She leveled a judgment against you of $879. What do you think?
Yes, yeah.
You kept saying no to the judge. Everything
Because
she
it wasn't
said.
the truth.
Well,
She
what
didn't
was
let
the
me
truth?
put the truth out there.
How come you didn't tell the truth in court?
No, he didn't tell the truth, but it's okay. She didn't let me talk, so how can I?
Yes, she did. You just didn't answer.
No.
Thank you very much.
you.
All right. All right, Mr. Young. Plaintiff is on his way out of the courtroom. You know, I think you've learned a valuable lesson out of this.
Yes, I did. Never win the U-Haul truck for nobody. That's what I learned. I won't do it again. Promise. It's not going to happen. This is crazy.
It is crazy. Absolutely. If you've learned that, you've learned a good lesson.
Yes,
okay?
I have. Valuable lesson.
Okay.
The valuable lesson.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. You must sign a few documents on your way out of the courtroom. Harvey?
Doug, we've talked about it before. Cell phones, car rentals, don't put your name on it for other people. It will end up like this.